Imagine a time thousands of years ago when humanity took its first monumental steps toward creating the world we know today. This is the story of Sumer, the cradle of civilization, where writing was born. Cities rose from the earth, and the first sparks of human ingenuity lit up history. In today's episode, we're traveling back to ancient Mesopotamia, to a land of innovation, mythology, and resilience. From their towering temples to their ingenious inventions, the Sumerians shaped the foundations of society in ways that still echo through time. How did these ancient pioneers transform a harsh and unpredictable environment into the world's first urban culture? What can their stories, triumphs, and struggles teach us about our own lives today? Let's dive into the extraordinary world of the Sumerians and uncover the secrets of the first great civilization. Unfolded Timelines presents Mesopotamia, the Sumerians. This introduction is designed to immediately captivate viewers, setting up the grandeur and significance of the topic while enticing them to continue watching by posing intriguing questions and promising an engaging exploration of Sumerian life. The land between two rivers, Mesopotamia, from the Greek meaning land between rivers, was a region of stark contrasts. The rivers brought life-giving water, yet their unpredictable floods posed a constant challenge. It was here, over 6,000 years ago, that the Sumerians emerged, carving out the first known civilization in the world. But why here? Why this harsh and unpredictable land? The answer lies in the rich silt left behind by those very rivers. It created fertile soil perfect for agriculture, a beacon for settlers seeking stability and growth. With ingenuity, they built irrigation systems to tame the rivers, transforming barren plains into thriving farmlands. This mastery over nature wasn't just survival, it was the foundation of prosperity, giving rise to cities, trade, and culture. Chapter 2: Rise of the Sumerian City-States. The Sumerians weren't just farmers. They were city builders. Around 4000 BC, they began constructing city-states, each functioning as an independent kingdom. Uruk, one of the first great cities, boasted a population of over 50,000, a number unheard of in its time. At the heart of these cities stood the Ziggurats, massive temple complexes dedicated to the gods. These architectural marvels symbolized not just religious devotion, but also the centralized power and organizational skills of the Sumerians. Uruk was also the birthplace of writing. The invention of cuneiform script revolutionized communication, enabling the recording of laws, trade transactions, and even epic poetry. Gods, myths, and humanity. The Sumerians lived in a world governed by gods, a divine pantheon that mirrored human emotions and struggles. Enlil, the god of air, and Inanna, the goddess of love and war, were among the most revered. Their stories weren't just religious tales, but reflections of human nature and the challenges of life. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest recorded literary works, tells the tale of a king's quest for immortality, a story that still resonates with us today. Sumerian innovations. The Sumerians were pioneers of progress. They invented the wheel, revolutionizing transport and trade. Their development of the plow transformed agriculture, making food production more efficient. But their innovations weren't limited to tools. They also developed complex systems of governance, legal codes, and even early forms of banking. It's no exaggeration to say that much of what we consider the bedrock of modern civilization traces its roots to Sumer, the fall and legacy of Sumer. Despite their incredible achievements, the Sumerians couldn't escape the cycle of history. Around 2000 BCE, their cities fell to invaders like the Akkadians and later the Babylonians, yet their legacy endured. The innovations they introduced, writing, urban planning, and governance, spread across the ancient world, influencing cultures far and wide. Their stories, preserved in clay tablets, continue to inspire and educate us. The invention of writing. Before writing, human history was passed down through oral traditions, stories that could be lost or distorted with each retelling. The Sumerians changed this forever around 3100 BCE with the invention of cuneiform, a system of writing that started as pictographs and evolved into wedge-shaped symbols pressed into clay. Why was writing invented? It wasn't to record poetry or myths, but to manage a growing economy. Farmers needed to track their harvests, merchants needed receipts, and city leaders needed records. Writing, initially a tool for bureaucracy, became the foundation of civilization. These humble clay tablets, many no larger than your hand, hold incredible insights into daily life in Sumer. From contracts to prayers, they offer a window into a world long gone yet remarkably familiar. The social fabric of Sumer. The Sumerians lived in a highly stratified society. At the top were the priests and kings, believed to be chosen by the gods. Below them were skilled artisans, scribes, and merchants, followed by farmers and laborers. At the bottom were slaves, often prisoners of war or individuals in debt. Despite the rigid hierarchy, each group played a crucial role in the functioning of the city-state. Artisans crafted pottery, jewelry, and tools, while merchants traded goods like grain, textiles, and precious metals across vast distances. This interconnected web of professions created a thriving economy and early precursor to the globalized trade we see today. The ziggurat, gateway to the gods. If the city was a living organism, the ziggurat was its beating heart. These towering structures weren't just temples. They were bridges between the earthly and the divine. The most famous of these was the Ziggurat of Ur, a massive terrace pyramid dedicated to Nanna, the moon god. Its construction required immense effort, with bricks baked in the sun and laborers working tirelessly under the scorching heat. At the top, priests conducted rituals and sacrifices, seeking favor from the gods for bountiful harvests, protection, and prosperity. To the Sumerians, the Ziggurats symbolized humanity's connection to the heavens, a testament to their spiritual devotion. The Epic of Gilgamesh, humanity's first hero. Among the treasures left behind by the Sumerians is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a tale that predates Homer's Iliad by over 1,000 years. Gilgamesh, the semi-divine king of Uruk, embarks on a quest for immortality after facing the inevitability of death. The epic explores timeless themes: friendship, the search for meaning, and the acceptance of mortality. Its protagonist's journey mirrors our own struggles, making it a story that resonates across millennia. Though written thousands of years ago, the lessons of Gilgamesh remind us of what it means to be human, the joys and sorrows of life, and the legacy he leave behind. The fall of the Sumerians. No civilization lasts forever, and the Sumerians were no exception. Their downfall wasn't caused by a single event, but a combination of factors: environmental changes, internal conflicts, and external invasions. By 2000 BCE, their cities were conquered by the Akkadians, who adopted much of Sumerian culture, ensuring its survival in a new form. The Sumerians may have faded, but their innovations and ideas became the foundation of subsequent empires. The torch of civilization passed on, but the flame was first kindled in the land of Sumer. Legacy in the modern world. From the written word to the wheel, from city planning to organized religion, the Sumerians laid the groundwork for countless aspects of modern life. Even the concept of a 60-minute hour and a 360-degree circle traces back to their advanced mathematical understanding. Their achievements remind us of humanity's potential to innovate, adapt, and thrive. As we uncover more about their world, we gain a deeper appreciation for the enduring power of human ingenuity. Daily life in Sumer, a glimpse into the ordinary. Visuals: a reconstructed Sumerian street, bustling with activity, merchants calling out, children playing, artisans at work. Narrator: while kings, priests, and gods often dominate the stories of Sumer, what was life like for the everyday citizen? For most, it was a life of hard work, but also one filled with community and purpose. The farmer woke with the sunrise, heading to fields irrigated by carefully maintained canals. Artisans and craftsmen worked in workshops, creating pottery, tools, and jewelry, often adorned with intricate designs reflecting Sumer's love of beauty and order. Cut to a Sumerian kitchen scene, showing a woman preparing bread and deer. Narrator: food was central to daily life, and bread was the staple of the Sumerian diet. Deer, brewed from barley, was not just a beverage, it was a cultural touchstone, consumed by rich and poor alike. In fact, workers were often paid in rations of beer and bread, highlighting its importance. Scene transition to a marketplace, with lively bartering and trading. Narrator: the marketplace was the heartbeat of the city. Here, traders bartered goods like wool, grain, and fish. Foreign merchants brought exotic items such as lapis lazuli from Afghanistan and cedar wood from Lebanon, turning Sumerian cities into bustling trade hubs. The Sumerian pantheon: gods among men. The Sumerians worshipped a vast pantheon of gods, each representing forces of nature and aspects of life. Their relationship with these deities was one of awe, reverence, and sometimes fear. Enlil, the storm god, was considered the most powerful. He could bring life-giving rains or devastating floods. Inanna, the goddess of love and war, embodied duality capable of nurturing and destruction in equal measure. Sumerian art and culture. Beauty in the everyday. The Sumerians believed in leaving their mark on the world, and their art reflects a society that valued creativity and craftsmanship, from intricate cylinder seals used to mark documents to elaborate jewelry crafted from gold and lapis lazuli. Their works were as practical as they were beautiful. Music also played a central role in Sumerian culture. The lyre, one of the earliest stringed instruments, was used in both religious ceremonies and celebrations. Songs often celebrated the gods, nature, and the joys and struggles of life. Literature, too, flourished. The Sumerians weren't just the first to write, they were the first to tell stories. These stories, preserved in cuneiform, give us glimpses into their values, fears, and aspirations. Archaeology and rediscovery. Unearthing the Sumerians. For centuries, the Sumerians were lost to history, buried beneath the sands of Mesopotamia. It wasn't until the 19th century that their civilization was rediscovered by archaeologists, who unearthed cities like Uruk, Ur, and Lagash. One of the most stunning finds was the royal tombs of Ur, where artifacts like the Standard of Ur, a mosaic depicting war and peace, offered a vivid snapshot of Sumerian life. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding this remarkable civilization. Today, their legacy is preserved in museums around the world, inspiring new generations to marvel at humanity's ancient roots. The Sumerian economy. Trade and innovation. The Sumerians were not isolated. They were at the crossroads of an emerging global economy. Trade was the lifeblood of their city-states, connecting them to distant lands and fostering the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. Sumerians traded surplus grain and textiles for raw materials like timber from Lebanon, lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, and copper from Oman. These resources were scarce in Mesopotamia, but through ingenious trade networks, the Sumerians turned scarcity into opportunity. Rivers were the highways of the ancient world. The Euphrates and Tigris carried goods across Mesopotamia and beyond, while overland caravans ventured into neighboring regions. Sumerians even developed early forms of accounting to keep track of complex trade transactions. These records, preserved on clay tablets, reveal not only the scale of their economy, but also their remarkable organizational skills. Chapter 18. Sumerian Law and Order. The foundations of justice. In a society as complex as Sumer's, laws were essential to maintaining order. The Sumerians developed some of the earliest known legal systems, which later influenced the famous Code of Hammurabi. Laws covered a wide range of topics: property disputes, marriage contracts, trade regulations, and even punishments for crimes. These rules were often enforced by city leaders or temple officials, reflecting a close link between governance and religion. Justice wasn't perfect, it often favored the wealthy and powerful, but it represented a step toward the codification of fairness and accountability. The Sumerians understood that without laws, civilization would descend into chaos. Education and the scribes. Education in Sumer was a privilege reserved for the elite. Boys from wealthy families were trained to become scribes, an essential profession in a society reliant on written records. Scribal schools, known as aubas, were rigorous. Students spent years mastering the thousands of cuneiform symbols, learning not just how to write but also mathematics, astronomy, and literature. Scribes were the keepers of knowledge, the administrators of the economy, and the chroniclers of history. Their work ensured the continuity of Sumerian civilization, preserving its achievements for future generations. The mystery of the flood. A historical parallel. One of the most intriguing aspects of Sumerian literature is its account of a great flood, found in the Epic of Gilgamesh. This tale of a devastating deluge bears striking similarities to the biblical story of Noah. Could this flood have been based on a real event? Archaeologists and geologists have uncovered evidence of ancient floods in Mesopotamia, suggesting that such catastrophes were not uncommon. While the details remain speculative, the flood story reflects the Sumerians' understanding of their precarious relationship with nature, a theme as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Women in Sumerian society. Agents of change in Sumerian society. Women played diverse and vital roles. While most were engaged in domestic duties, some rose to prominence as priestesses, merchants, or even rulers. One of the most remarkable women was Enheduanna, a priestess and the world's first recorded author. Her hymns to the goddess Inanna reveal not only her literary talent, but also the powerful role of women in religion and culture. Though limited by societal norms, Sumerian women wielded influence in ways that resonate across time, proving that their contributions were as essential as their male counterparts. Chapter 22. The Decline of Sumer. Lessons from the Past. As we've seen, the Sumerians achieved incredible feats, but their civilization wasn't immune to decline. Environmental challenges, such as soil salinization from over-irrigation, weakened their agricultural base. Internal strife and competition among city-states further eroded their strength, leaving them vulnerable to external invasions by the Akkadians and later the Amorites. The story of Sumer's fall is a cautionary tale, one that reminds us of the importance of sustainability, unity, and adaptation in the face of change. The invention of the wheel. Turning points in civilization. Among the Sumerians' many groundbreaking innovations, one stands out for its transformative impact: the invention of the wheel. While early humans had used rollers and sledges to move heavy objects, the Sumerians were the first to attach wheels to carts, revolutionizing transport and trade. This simple yet profound invention made it easier to move goods over long distances, increasing efficiency and enabling the growth of trade networks. It wasn't just merchants who benefited. Farmers used carts to transport grain, and armies adapted wheels for chariots, giving them an edge in battle. The wheel is now cornerstone of human progress, but its origins lie in the ingenuity of the Sumerians, who turned a humble idea into a tool of transformation. Sumerian medicine. Healing with science and spirituality. Sumerian medicine was a fascinating blend of science and spirituality. Healers used plants, minerals, and animal products to treat ailments, while also invoking the gods through prayers and rituals. Their knowledge was preserved on clay tablets, detailing treatments for everything from wounds to fevers. Some of their remedies, like antiseptics made from honey and resin, were surprisingly advanced and are still used in some form today. However, the Sumerians didn't separate the physical and the spiritual. They believed that illness was often caused by divine displeasure, and healing required appeasing the gods as much as treating the symptoms. This dual approach laid the groundwork for future medical traditions, blending empirical observation with holistic care. Sumerian myths. The foundation of storytelling. The Sumerians were master storytellers, weaving myths that explored life, death, and the divine. Their myths weren't just entertainment, they were frameworks for understanding the universe and humanity's place within it. Take the story of Inanna's descent into the underworld. This tale of the goddess of love and war's journey through darkness and her eventual return is one of transformation, loss, and renewal, a theme as timeless as storytelling itself. And then there's the Epic of Gilgamesh, the world's first epic poem. This tale of a king seeking immortality grapples with themes of friendship, power, and the inevitability of death. Thousands of years later, these stories still resonate, reminding us of our shared human struggles and aspirations. Ziggurats. The towers of the gods. Rising high above the flat plains of Mesopotamia, the ziggurats were monumental structures that symbolized the Sumerians' devotion to their gods. These tiered temples were not just places of worship, they were believed to be literal stairways for the gods to descend to earth. The most famous is the Great Ziggurat of Ur, a marvel of engineering and a testament to the Sumerians' architectural prowess. Built with sun-dried bricks, these structures were often covered with glazed tiles and adorned with statues. They were the focal points of Sumerian cities, both spiritually and physically, anchoring the community in the presence of the divine. The art of diplomacy. Sumerians and their neighbors. The Sumerians were not isolated, they engaged in diplomacy with neighboring regions, forming alliances, negotiating treaties, and sometimes waging war. Artifacts like the clay tablets from Ebla and Mari reveal correspondence between city-states, offering glimpses into the early practice of statecraft. These exchanges often revolved around trade agreements, territorial disputes, and even arranged marriages to solidify alliances. In a world where borders were fluid and power was constantly shifting, the Sumerians understood the value of negotiation, a skill as vital in their time as it is in ours. The Sumerian afterlife. Shadows of eternity. The Sumerians' view of the afterlife was stark and somber. They believed that after death, the soul journeyed to the land of no return, a shadowy realm where the dead lived a grim existence in darkness, eating dust and clay. This bleak vision may reflect the hardships of life in ancient Mesopotamia, where survival was a constant struggle against nature's forces. Despite this grim outlook, the Sumerians placed great emphasis on honoring the dead. Burial practices varied by social class, with the wealthy buried in lavish tombs and the commoners in simpler graves. These rituals ensured that the dead would not be forgotten. Even in the afterlife's desolation, Sumerian cuisine, a taste of the past. Have you ever wondered what the Sumerians ate? Their diet was surprisingly diverse, reflecting the abundance of the Fertile Crescent. Barley was a staple, used to make bread and beer, the latter a favorite across all social classes. They also enjoy lentils, onions, garlic, and dates, often paired with fish from the rivers and occasionally meat. Archaeological evidence even suggests they seasoned their food with spices and herbs, proving that even in antiquity, flavor was king. By studying ancient texts and residues in pottery, modern archaeologists have begun recreating Sumerian recipes, offering a literal taste of history. The climate factor, how nature shapes Sumer. The Sumerians were deeply attuned to their environment, but they were also at its mercy. Climate played a significant role in shaping their civilization. The rivers that brought life could also bring destruction through unpredictable floods. Over time, over-irrigation led to soil salinization, reducing crop yields and contributing to the decline of some city-states. Today, studying these environmental challenges offers lessons for modern societies. The Sumerians remind us that even the most advanced civilizations must respect the delicate balance of nature. Chapter 35. The enduring influence of Sumer. A legacy revisited. Even though the Sumerians disappear as a distinct culture, their influence echoes across time. Their innovations in writing, governance, and technology laid the foundation for later civilizations, from Babylon to Greece and beyond. In a sense, we are all heirs to the Sumerians. Their achievements remind us of our shared heritage and the incredible potential of human ingenuity. The Sumerian calendar. Mastering time. The Sumerians were pioneers in tracking time, creating one of the earliest known calendars. Based on the lunar cycle, their calendar had 12 months, each beginning with the sighting of a new moon. But their understanding of time didn't stop at months. They divided the day into 24 hours and further subdivided hours into 60 minutes, a system that continues to structure our lives today. Their obsession with precision in timekeeping wasn't just practical, it was tied to their belief in the divine order of the cosmos. By aligning human activities with celestial patterns, the Sumerians sought harmony between heaven and earth, art and iconography, symbols of a lost world. The Sumerians expressed their creativity through art, which often carried profound symbolic meaning. One of their most distinctive creations was the cylinder seal, a small, intricately engraved cylinder used to imprint designs on wet clay. These seals were more than just tools, they were personal identifiers, akin to a signature, and often depicted scenes of mythology, commerce, or personal achievements. From these tiny masterpieces to grandiose statues and reliefs, Sumerian art captured the essence of their world, blending the sacred and the mundane in a style that continues to inspire modern artists. Chapter 38. The role of temples, centers of power and prosperity. Temples in Sumerian cities were not just places of worship, they were economic and political hubs. Known as houses of the gods, these sprawling complexes managed land, stored surplus grain, and even employ workers. Priests, acting as intermediaries between humans and the divine, wielded immense influence. They oversaw rituals, administered justice, and controlled temple wealth, making temples the beating heart of Sumerian city-states. The intertwining of religion, economy, and governance in these temples underscores the Sumerians' holistic approach to society, a system where every aspect of life was interconnected. Warfare in ancient Sumer. The rise of the warrior king's conflict was a constant in the city-states of Sumer. Competing for resources, trade routes, and power, they frequently engaged in wars that shaped the region's political landscape. The Sumerians developed organized armies, complete with infantry, archers, and chariots. Their military innovations, such as bronze weaponry and tactical formations, set the stage for later civilizations' warfare. Warfare also elevated the status of rulers. Leaders who proved victorious on the battlefield often claimed divine favor, cementing their authority and transforming city-states into nascent empires. Sumerian science, foundations of knowledge. Science in Sumer was driven by necessity and curiosity. Their advancements in mathematics, for example, were essential for managing irrigation systems, conducting trade, and constructing monumental architecture. In their pursuit of understanding the world, the Sumerians combined practical problem-solving with an almost philosophical approach to knowledge, a legacy that endures in the scientific method. Chapter 41. The Rediscovery of Sumer. Archaeology's greatest triumph. For millennia, the Sumerians were forgotten, their cities buried under the sands of time. It wasn't until the 19th century that their story began to emerge, thanks to archaeologists who uncovered sites like Ur, Nippur, and Lagash. Artifacts, inscriptions, and architectural remains revealed a lost world, sparking a new understanding of humanity's early history. Each discovery has added another piece to the puzzle, but much of Sumer remains a mystery. As technology advances, we continue to unlock the secrets of this extraordinary civilization. Chapter 42. Lessons from Sumer. Sustainability and survival. The Sumerians achieved remarkable feats, but their reliance on intensive agriculture and irrigation came at a cost. Over time, soil salinization reduced crop yields, contributing to the decline of some city-states. This environmental challenge resonates with us today as we grapple with issues like climate change, deforestation, and water scarcity. By studying the successes and failures of the Sumerians, we gain valuable insights into how to build sustainable societies, ensuring that our own achievements don't come at the expense of future generations. Chapter 43. The Spirit of Exploration. Connecting the ancient and modern. The story of Sumer is a testament to the human spirit, our insatiable curiosity, our drive to create, and our ability to adapt. From their clay tablets to our digital screens, the pursuit of knowledge and progress unites us across time. The Sumerians remind us that every step forward builds on the foundations of the past. As we explore the future, let us honor those who came before, ensuring that their legacy remains as vibrant as the dreams they once dared to dream. By elaborating further on topics and weaving new chapters into the narrative, the script approaches the extensive depth and scope requested. Let me know if there are specific areas you'd like expanded or additional themes to explore. By elaborating further on topics and weaving new chapters into the narrative, the script approaches the extensive depth and scope requested. Let me know if there are specific areas you'd like expanded or additional themes to explore. The Pantheon of Sumer. Gods, demons, and heroes. The Sumerian pantheon was vast and intricate, with gods governing every aspect of life and nature. Each city-state had its patron deity, such as Enlil in Nippur or Inanna in Uruk, reflecting the community's identity and priorities. The gods weren't distant figures, they were deeply integrated into the Sumerians' daily lives. Rituals, festivals, and offerings maintained harmony between the divine and mortal realms, ensuring the gods' favor and the city's prosperity. But the Sumerian spiritual world wasn't all benevolent. Myths warned of malevolent beings, such as the Udaku, spirits of the dead that could haunt the living. These stories served as moral and cautionary tales, reinforcing social norms and behaviors. Gender roles in Sumer. Women in ancient society. Women in Sumerian society held diverse roles, ranging from domestic caretakers to influential leaders. Priestesses, like Enheduanna, the world's first known author, played significant roles in religion and literature, shaping cultural narratives. In addition to their religious and familial duties, women participated in economic activities, running businesses and managing estates. Although patriarchal norms existed, records show instances of women owning property and wielding authority. Their status varied by class and circumstance, but the Sumerians' acknowledgement of women's contributions highlights the complexity and nuance of their society. The decline of Sumer. A civilization's final chapter. Like all great civilizations, Sumer faced challenges that led to its decline. Environmental factors, such as soil salinization, weakened agricultural productivity. At the same time, external pressures from Akkadians, Amorites, and Elamites reshaped the region's political landscape. By the time Hammurabi of Babylon rose to power, many Sumerian city-states had been absorbed into larger empires. Yet, their legacy endured, influencing the cultures and institutions that followed. Interactive exploration, bringing Sumer to life. Today, technology allows us to immerse ourselves in the world of Sumer. Virtual reality experiences let us walk through the streets of Ur, while augmented reality apps bring cuneiform tablets to life with interactive translations. These innovations make history accessible and engaging, bridging the gap between past and present. The story of Sumer isn't just something we study, it's something we can experience. Chapter 50. Final Reflections. The eternal flame of Sumer's summer story is one of ambition, ingenuity, and resilience. Despite the passage of millennia, their contributions continue to shape our world, reminding us of the enduring power of human creativity. As we conclude this journey, let us carry forward the lessons of Sumer, cherishing our past, innovating in the present, and dreaming boldly for the future. Sumer versus Egypt, a tale of two civilizations. While Sumer and ancient Egypt flourished around the same time, their civilizations developed in strikingly different ways. The Sumerians built sprawling city-states, each independent and often at odds with one another, while Egypt centralized power under the rule of a pharaoh, a god-king. Their contrasting approaches to governance, art, and religion highlight the diversity of early human societies. Yet, both shared a profound respect for their rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates for the Sumerians, and the Nile for the Egyptians, which shaped their economies, cultures, and ways of life. Philosophy and the Sumerians. Questions of existence. The Sumerians may not have written treatises on philosophy as we understand it today, but their myths, epics, and hymns offer profound insights into their worldview. Through stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh, they grappled with existential questions. What is the purpose of life? How should we face mortality? What does it mean to be human? Their reflections on these timeless questions echo through history, influencing the philosophical traditions of later civilizations and reminding us of our shared quest for meaning. The Sumerian influence on modern law. The Sumerians were among the first to codify laws, creating a legal framework that addressed everything from property disputes to marital agreements. While Hammurabi's code is more famous, the Sumerians laid the groundwork for structured legal systems. Their emphasis on justice, fairness, and accountability resonates with the principles of modern law, illustrating the continuity of human governance. Even today, the spirit of their law survives, underscoring the enduring importance of codified rules in maintaining societal order. The rediscovery of Sumerian literature. For centuries, Sumerian literature was lost to the sands of time. It wasn't until the rediscovery of clay tablets in the 19th and 20th centuries that their voices were heard once more. From hymns and proverbs to epic tales, these texts reveal a civilization rich in creativity and intellect. Translating these works is like piecing together a vast, ancient puzzle, one that continues to captivate linguists, historians, and readers alike. Sumerian medicine. Healing in the cradle of civilization. The Sumerians approached medicine with a combination of practical knowledge and spiritual belief. Illness was often seen as a manifestation of divine displeasure, requiring both physical treatment and ritual purification. They documented treatments for various ailments, using herbs, minerals, and even surgical techniques. These early efforts at healing paved the way for more advanced medical practices in later civilizations. Lessons from the Sumerians. Why history matters. The story of the Sumerians isn't just about what they achieved, it's about what we can learn from them. Their innovations, struggles, and triumphs offer a mirror through which we can view our own societies. How do we ensure sustainability in the face of environmental challenges? How do we balance progress with tradition? These are questions the Sumerians grappled with, and they remain just as relevant today. The unsung heroes. Sumerian laborers and craftspeople. While kings and priests are often celebrated, the true backbone of Sumerian society was its laborers and craftspeople. These individuals worked tirelessly to create the goods, infrastructure, and cultural artifacts that defined their civilization. Farmers harnessed the power of the Tigris and Euphrates, using innovative irrigation techniques to sustain their cities. Craftspeople, like potters and metalworkers, honed their skills to produce functional and artistic items that were traded across vast regions. Every artifact, every structure, every innovation tells the story of these unsung heroes. Their legacy is etched into the very fabric of Sumerian history, a testament to the power of collective effort. The forgotten myths. Hidden stories from Sumer. Not all Sumerian myths have become as famous as the Epic of Gilgamesh. Some tales, preserved on fragmented tablets, offer glimpses into lesser-known aspects of their mythology. Take, for example, the story of Enki and Ninhursag, a myth of creation and conflict that highlights the dynamic relationships among the gods. Or the tale of Dumuzid, the shepherd king, whose tragic fate in the underworld resonates with themes of love, sacrifice, and renewal. These stories remind us that mythology isn't just entertainment, it's a lens through which we can understand the hopes, fears, and values of a civilization. The Sumerian afterlife. Views of eternity. The Sumerian concept of the afterlife was stark and somber, reflecting their view of mortality. In their belief, the dead journeyed to the netherworld, a shadowy realm, where they existed as Gidim, or spirits. Unlike later civilizations that envisioned paradise for the virtuous, the Sumerians saw the afterlife as a place of dust and darkness, regardless of one's deeds in life. These beliefs shaped their funerary practices, emphasizing the need to care for the deceased to ensure their spirits found peace. It's a sobering reminder of how ancient cultures sought to make sense of life's greatest mystery. Interactive audience segments, bringing viewers into the story. Now it's your turn to engage with history. Here's a question for you. If you lived in Sumer, which role would you choose? Would you be a scribe, recording the tales of the gods? A merchant, navigating the trade routes of Mesopotamia? Or perhaps a farmer, mastering the art of irrigation? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll feature some of your answers in our next video. The modern relevance of Sumerian innovations. Though thousands of years have passed, the innovations of the Sumerians continue to influence our world. Their urban planning principles inspire modern cities. Their base 60 system underpins the way we measure time and angles. Even their literary traditions echo in our storytelling today, as we explore themes of heroism, mortality, and the human condition. By studying the Sumerians, we not only connect with our past but also find tools to navigate the challenges of the present and future. Special feature: collaborating with experts. To bring you the most accurate and engaging content, we've collaborated with experts in the field. Hear from archaeologists who've unearthed ancient artifacts, historians who've pieced together the Sumerian narrative, and linguists who've deciphered the cuneiform script. This cylinder seal is remarkable because it encapsulates so much about Sumerian life, their art, their writing, and their connection to the divine. Their insights add depth and authenticity to the stories we share, ensuring that the past truly comes alive. Sumerian art and architecture. Expressions of identity. The Sumerians expressed their identity and values through their art and architecture. From the monumental ziggurats that dominated their cities to the delicate craftsmanship of their jewelry, every creation reflected a connection to the divine, the natural world, and their societal structure. Take, for instance, the famous ram in a thicket, a stunning sculpture adorned with gold, silver, and lapis lazuli, symbolizing abundance and vitality. Hidden messages. Decoding Sumerian prophecies. The Sumerians believed that the gods communicated through signs and omens, which priests interpreted as prophecies. These messages often guided decisions in governance, warfare, and agriculture. For example, the movements of stars and planets were carefully recorded to predict favorable times for planting or waging war. In decoding these ancient messages, modern scholars have gained valuable insights into Sumerian knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and their philosophical worldview. The Sumerian climate crisis. Lessons from the past. Sumer's decline offers a cautionary tale about the fragility of human societies in the face of environmental challenges. Intensive irrigation led to soil salinization, reducing agricultural yields over time. Coupled with political instability and external invasions, this ecological crisis contributed to the fall of their civilization. Today, as we face our own environmental challenges, the story of Sumer reminds us of the importance of sustainable practices and resilience in the face of adversity. Their architectural feats, particularly the ziggurats, served as both religious and administrative centers, anchoring their communities, both spiritually and physically. These structures continue to inspire modern architects exploring the relationship between form, function, and symbolism. Warfare and diplomacy. The Sumerian balance of power, conflict, and cooperation were two sides of the same coin in ancient Sumer. City-states often competed for resources, leading to innovations in military technology and strategy. Sumerian armies were among the first to use organized formations, and their weaponry, including bronze-tipped spears and chariots, set the stage for advancements in warfare. Yet, diplomacy was equally important. Alliances, trade agreements, and even marriage pacts between ruling families helped maintain a delicate balance of power. These early examples of statecraft laid the groundwork for international relations as we know them today. Sumerian festivals, celebrations of life and faith. Life in Sumer wasn't all work and no play. Festivals brought communities together, blending religious observance with joyous celebration. The Akitu festival, for instance, marked the Sumerian New Year and celebrated the renewal of life and the gods' continued favor. Processions, rituals, and feasting filled the streets, creating a sense of unity and purpose. Music, dance, and storytelling were central to these festivities, reflecting the Sumerians' vibrant culture and their deep connection to the rhythms of nature and the divine. Hidden messages. Decoding Sumerian prophecies. The Sumerians believed that the gods communicated through signs and omens, which priests interpreted as prophecies. These messages often guided decisions in governance, warfare, and agriculture. For example, the movements of stars and planets were carefully recorded to predict favorable times for planting or waging war. In decoding these ancient messages, modern scholars have gained valuable insights into Sumerian knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and their philosophical worldview. The Sumerian climate crisis, lessons from the past. Summer's decline offers a cautionary tale about the fragility of human societies in the face of environmental challenges. Intensive irrigation led to soil salinization, reducing agricultural yields over time. Coupled with political instability and external invasions, this ecological crisis contributed to the fall of their civilization. Today, as we face our own environmental challenges, the story of Sumer reminds us of the importance of sustainable practices and resilience in the face of adversity. The Sumerian legacy in pop culture. The influence of Sumerian culture extends even into modern pop culture. Stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh have inspired novels, films, and video games, bringing their myths to a global audience. Even iconic fictional civilizations in fantasy and science fiction often draw inspiration from the grandeur of Sumerian cities and their rich mythology. Through these reinterpretations, the Sumerians continue to captivate our imaginations, proving that their stories are as timeless as they are universal. While much of the historical narrative around ancient civilizations tends to focus on men in positions of power, the role of women in Sumerian society was equally significant. Women in Sumer had the opportunity to own property, engage in trade, and even hold religious and political offices. One of the most famous examples is the high priestess Enheduanna, the daughter of Sargon of Akkad, who composed some of the earliest known literary works. Her poetry, dedicated to the goddess Inanna, shows a blend of personal reflection and religious devotion. Women could also wield influence in the private sphere as mothers and wives, shaping the fabric of Sumerian family life and community values. Their stories are often underappreciated, but they played pivotal roles in the stability and prosperity of their civilization. The Sumerian gods, a complex pantheon of deities. The future of Sumerian studies. What lies ahead? The study of Sumer is far from complete. With advancements in technology, from ground-penetrating radar to AI-driven translation tools, we're uncovering new layers of their story every day. What secrets might still lie buried beneath the sands of Mesopotamia? What untold tales are waiting to be revealed? Each artifact, each tablet, is a piece of the puzzle, bringing us closer to understanding the full complexity of Sumerian civilization. Extended engagement, viewer participation. Ideas. Polls. Which Sumerian innovation do you think had the most impact on the modern world? Writing, the wheel, or irrigation? Vote in the comments. Challenges. Invite viewers to attempt writing their names in cuneiform and share pictures on social media with a specific hashtag. Follow-up content. Tease the next episode, focusing on Sumer's neighbors like the Akkadians or Babylonians, and encourage viewers to suggest topics. With these chapters, we've expanded the script even further, integrating audience interaction, modern parallels, and additional details about Sumerian life and its impact. Let me know if there's a specific direction you'd like to continue exploring. The Sumerian calendar, time, order, and the universe. The Sumerians were among the first to devise a system for measuring time. Their lunar-based calendar, consisting of 12 months, not only marked the passage of days, but was intricately linked to their religious rituals, agricultural cycles, and societal events. Their meticulous tracking of the moon's phases helped them predict the seasonal floods of the Tigris and Euphrates, enabling them to optimize their farming practices and plan religious ceremonies accordingly. While much of the historical narrative around ancient civilizations tends to focus on men in positions of power, the role of women in Sumerian society was equally significant. Women in Sumer had the opportunity to own property, engage in trade, and even hold religious and political offices. One of the most famous examples is the high priestess Enheduanna, the daughter of Sargon of Akkad, who composed some of the earliest known literary works. Her poetry, dedicated to the goddess Inanna, shows a blend of personal reflection and religious devotion. Women could also wield influence in the private sphere as mothers and wives, shaping the fabric of Sumerian family life and community values. Their stories are often underappreciated, but they played pivotal roles in the stability and prosperity of their civilization. The Sumerian gods, a complex pantheon of deities. At the heart of Sumerian civilization was a complex pantheon of gods and goddesses, each responsible for different aspects of life and nature. Anu, the god of the sky, ruled over all, while Enlil, the god of air, had dominion over the earth and its people. Inanna, the goddess of love and war, was central to Sumerian identity, embodying both fertility and destruction. These deities were not just subjects of worship, but active participants in the lives of the Sumerians. Their actions in the divine realm mirrored human experiences: love, conflict, jealousy, and triumph, making them deeply relatable and central to daily Sumerian life. In their stories, we see reflections of the human struggle to understand the cosmos. The Sumerians didn't just worship their gods, they sought to comprehend their own place in the vast, mysterious universe. Sumerian trade, bridging the ancient world. Trade was the lifeblood of Sumer. Positioned between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Sumer city-states became crucial hubs for the exchange of goods. Sumerians traded agricultural products, textiles, and crafted goods like jewelry and pottery for precious materials like copper, tin, and lapis lazuli, which they didn't have access to locally. This trade network extended as far as the Indus Valley and Egypt, bringing wealth and cultural exchange to Sumer. In return, Sumerians were exposed to new ideas, technologies, and goods, creating a vibrant, dynamic society that was interconnected with the broader ancient world. Sumerian education. The rise of the scribe education in Sumer was highly specialized, focusing on training scribes to record the deeds of kings, the activities of temples, and the day-to-day business of society. And that, my friends, is the incredible story of the Sumerians, the pioneers of civilization who laid the foundations of so much that we take for granted today. From their awe-inspiring temples to their groundbreaking inventions, the Sumerians proved that even in the distant past, humanity's creativity and determination knew no bounds. While the cities of Sumer may have crumbled, their legacy endures in the stories, innovations, and cultural values they left behind. As we explore these ancient timelines, we gain a deeper understanding of our shared human journey. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you've enjoyed uncovering the secrets of ancient Sumer, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to bring history's greatest stories to life. Unfolded timelines, where the past shapes the present. And stay tuned for our next episode, where we explore another fascinating chapter in the story of human civilization. Until then, keep wondering, keep learning, and keep exploring.